Going to get our second match of the night underway. This one's going to feature Brian, skill level 4 from My Bad, going up against Lewis, also a skill level 4 from Undateable. Starting off with the lag, Brian using the 1 ball and Lewis the 5. Looks like Brian's going to get that lag. Lewis is going to rack up for us. Nice spread on the break. Nothing in though, so Lewis is going to have his choice. Cue ball's resting up against the 15 there. Lewis goes for solids. Pretty tight cut there. He managed it. Doesn't quite get the angle on the 1 ball though, so that's going to give Brian his next shot at the table. Don't think he's got a lot of clean shots here. I'm not sure what he's going to be able to work up, but looks like he's going to do a kick shot. Managed to get that one. That was a tight squeeze past the 5 there. Doesn't get his second shot, but that's going to bring Lewis back up to the table. Doesn't look like he's got a lot of choices here. Takes a defensive shot and manages to park the cue ball behind the 7. Nicely done. Ryan's going to have to take a kick shot, see if he can get a good legal hit in. Just misses the ball, but comes back around for it the second time. Second time around, didn't quite have enough speed going to get the 14 to make it to a rail at all, unfortunately. It's going to give Lewis ball in hand. He's going to move that 3 out of its treble spot. He's got a shot on the 1. He needs to get back down to the other table, though, in order to get at anything else. Looks like he's going to try and put some left English on it if he goes after that one. Changes his mind. Takes aim at the 7. Another defensive attempt. Pretty good. Pretty good shot on that. Brian is going to have shot on the 10 from there. Not sure if he can see the 15 very well. The 10 definitely looks makeable from that angle. And that goes in pretty easily. Winds up with shape on the 11 for the same corner. Not looking like he's got much of a shot other than this 14, maybe going for the side or a defensive shot. Lewis lines up on the 7. Gives himself good shape on the 2. If he rolls forward from the 2, he could definitely line up on the 1. That 5 ball is what he's really got to try and solve for at the moment. Yep, nice roll up on the 1. Oh, he's taking a look at that 5. Maybe he's going to try and bank it. Yep. Nice shot on that one. Good job on the bank. Managed to avoid getting himself into the pocket. Pretty close though. Shaking his head. Maybe he's a little on that corner. Hard to see from the camera angle here. He must be on that corner a little bit. He's lining up to take a kick at it. And he's called for a timeout. He's definitely looking like he's hooked there in that pocket. Trying to decide the best angle to kick at the 1. If he can hit it right, he's going to be able to put that in. If he has enough force, he should bounce back out so that he still has a shot at the 8 ball. Timeout going a little long there. Not managed to finish it up with the minute left on the minute mark. Oh, catches the corner of the pocket. It's going to be ball in hand to Brian. Ball in hand, and just doesn't quite have enough gas on it for the 11 there. It's going to make it turn back over to Lewis, who now has a much easier shot on the 1. Still has to get around the table back and get some kind of shape on the 8. Well, if the 11 wasn't in that corner, that'd be fairly well done. Gotta go for the long bank on this. Angle looking pretty good. 14 knocked it out of the way, however. Well, Brian's big issue now is going to be the 9 ball right up there close to the 8 ball. It's going to be a difficult one to move out. Of course, it does limit Lewis's angles on that shot as well. Brian goes for the defensive shot. Nicely done. Manages to get a good legal hit on the 8. I'll bring Brian back to the table with having to work with what he's got. Looks like he might have a shot on the 9, but he's going to take that 14, do another defensive shot, kind of a 2-way. If that would have gone in, I don't think Brian would have actually wanted that to fall at this moment in time. Lewis is going to have to take another kick at the 8. He's going ahead and marking the corner pocket closest to him. Oh, bounced it off the 9. Just about had that angle right. Once again, Brian has to work with what he's got on the table. No ball in hand at all for him. Nice shot on the 15, taking it all the way down. And a line up on the 14. Hopefully he can get some shape on the 9 afterwards. We get a timeout called. Jason's going to come up and give Brian some help on this shot. Oh, unfortunately followed that right in. It's going to give ball in hand, and Brian's going to go ahead and concede that one. I'll put Lewis on for the first rack, and Brian gets to rack him up. Nope. Lewis miscues on his first attempt. Breaking this rack. And scratches on the second attempt to break in the rack. Does not get 4 balls to the rail, so that's going to mean a re-rack and a changeover to having Brian break. If you do scratch on the break and it's not a legal rack in which 4 balls make contact with the rail, you do end up having to change the player who is making the break. If the cue ball had stayed out of the pocket, that would have been a re-rack and Lewis would have made another attempt at it. Nice break. 2 in on that one. To be both solids. Possibly one of each, actually. Maybe 2 solids and 1 stripe. Okay. Unfortunately, Brian does not get a follow-up ball. Lewis gets the 13 off the table, so claiming stripes for himself. Didn't quite get the angle on that shot. Brian's going to come to the table. Pretty tough rail cut there. Doesn't quite succeed. Didn't really have a lot of other great shots to try for, but that does bring Lewis back. Manages to pocket the 9. And a lot of traffic down there at the other end of the table around that corner. Manages to get himself into a position to get on the 15, though. Nicely done. We'll follow through. Oh, that would have been great if the 15 had gone. He would have been lined up for the 14, possibly squeaking by the 5. Brian's going to get to come back to the table, though. Don't know that the 7 will go in the side from there. The 1's a long shot up the table. Might be able to get in between for the 2. Don't think he's got an angle on the 5. I think the 14's in the way. Taking a moment here to wait for a player on another table to finish up so they don't wind up running into each other while they take their shot. Gonna go for the 1, looks like. Not quite the right angle, but really nice attempt. Lewis is going to get another shot here at these. Looks like the 15 would be a good choice. If he hits that just right, he can bump out, get the 11. Nice stop shot on it, and push the 14 into the other corner. Looks like he's going to go for a defensive shot, possibly. Yeah, tried to cut the 14 into the 15. Not sure that's the shot I would have taken. It does put everything real close to the pocket there. Nice cut into the side with the 3 ball for Brian. Ooh, didn't quite get that on the 7. Little hard, little fast shot there. I think he was trying to get enough draw to get back and get the 2. Get lined up on the 2 for the side, possibly. Did have the advantage of parking the cue ball somewhere where it's not an easy shot for Lewis into the corner, while the rest of his balls are. Looks like Lewis is going to go for the long bank. Looks like he's got a good angle on it. At least managed to hit the 11 and get a legal shot. Brian gets the 1 up there in the corner. Overcuts the 2 a little bit. And give Lewis a pretty clear shot at the corner this time. Goes ahead and combos the 11 into the 15, puts the 15 in the corner. Looks like it should be a pretty easy combo 14-11 now. Oh, not quite enough power there. Brian's going to have to watch this shot here to make sure he doesn't put something and give Lewis an easy shot. Goes for a defense. 7 comes off the rail a little bit further than he wanted. This little rail first on the 11, trying to get that 14 to move a bit. I don't think it moved as far as he really would have liked. He's going to have to try and take it down the rail to the other corner. Collided with the 5. Does get close to the other corner pocket, though. Pretty straight in shot for Brian with the 2 there. Looks like he's going to try another long shot with 5 all the way to the other end of the table. Nicely done. I think you wanted to follow that a little bit more for a little easier angle on the 7 into the corner. It's going to be a hard cut shot. Banking it has the... Oh, we're going to have a timeout. With the bank, he might put that into the 14 and put the 14 in for Lewis. So timeout is called. Jason's going to give Brian advice on this shot again. All right, Brian, ready to go. Another defensive shot. This one works out. Has the 8 ball between the cue ball and the 14 for Lewis. Gonna have to kick at it in some manner. And he manages to get a good legal hit out of it. Leaves Brian with a clear shot to hit the 7, but he's going to have to cut that or bank it. Goes for another defensive shot. Once again, getting himself into good position with the 7. Partially covering the 14 with the 8 ball on that. With really long shot now. I do believe Lewis can see plenty of that, though, to get a good legal hit. Yeah, I think Lewis was trying to do the same sort of a safety on that. Unfortunately, the 14 came off the short rail and did not get in the way. Going to leave Brian with a cut angle into the corner. That should, if he hits it right, give him good shape on the 8. Oh, just missed it. Does get lucky and has the 8 ball in between the cue ball and the 14 again. Lewis takes the kick. Scratches, unfortunately. 7 down on the rail. 8 on the other side of the table, near a corner pocket. Brian can get this in and get to the other end of the table. He should be in pretty good shape. Manages the 7. Does get clear for a shot on the 8. Might have wanted to be a little higher up on the table, but that'll work for sure. Oh, not quite there with the angle. It's going to leave that 8 ball right there in the pocket as Lewis comes back up, shooting at the 14. Doesn't quite get it and bumps the 8 in on the return trip with the 14. That's gonna give that rack to Brian as Lewis sets up for rack number 3. Brian breaks, gets the 1 in right off the bat. Looks to be the only ball he got in on that. So he'll be shooting for solids. Don't know that he can get by the 14 there. He's going to go for the 4 ball. He's got a good clear shot at that. That works. Manages to put himself in position for the 5. Two into the side works out. Things are looking pretty good here. Go for the 6. That 3 ball is going to cause some trouble. Unless he can find a way to... Well, he's going to go ahead and try and just move it. Oh, just about made it into the corner pocket behind the 10 there. If he'd have managed that one, I think he might have been able to get a break and run out of that. Let's put the 12 into the corner, but I don't think he's got a great shot other than possibly the 9 if he cheats the pocket a little bit on the side here. Don't think he can get around and get that 11. $13 is blocked by another ball. Goes for a defensive shot. Putting some distance there, but I think Brian has plenty of room to get by the 9 and to get that 3 in the corner. Just got to get some sort of shape on the 7 afterwards. And that bump on the 8 looks to have done the trick. Good hit on the 7. And take a quick walk around the table. And go for the 8 in the side. And manages it. Nicely shot. And we'll move on to rack number 4. Brian is on the hill. Lewis is still looking for 2 more. Brian's going to work with stripes this rack. Looks like he's going to try and break up that. Oh, managed to get the 9 on with that bump. That 11's going to cause some trouble. 13 on the rail there. Doesn't really have much to shoot at here. Goes for the safety. Legal hit. But Lewis has got plenty he can shoot at from there. Goes ahead and hits 3. Doesn't quite have the angle to get it into that corner though. In fact, Brian's going to try and bank that. Nice shot on the one into the side. Rests it on up against that ball, however. Can't tell if that's the, I believe that's the 14 there. Lewis takes aim on the 5, going 5-3 combo. Does not work out. Oh, well, that almost went. Unfortunately, it did put in one of Lewis's balls. Lewis trying to break things up a little bit. 4, 8, and 11 all kind of pushed together at the moment. There we go, some separation. Fortunately for Lewis, he doesn't look like he gave himself much of a shot. He did manage to get things broken up, but this one's a bit risky. Bumps the 8 ball. Thankfully not into the pocket. Looks like Brian's going to try and get that 13 possibly. See, I got a pretty good angle to get that into the corner at the moment. It'd be hard for me to pass up. That is the biggest trouble ball he's got. Not that it's that much trouble, but that is the one that needs the proper angle. Doesn't get it all the way in the corner, but into the pocket. Lewis takes a defensive shot and pushes a 6 right up against the 13. Oh, it looks to me like Brian could push the 11 down into that corner and manage to get the 13 in. Although there is the worry that the 11 will then stay with the 4 and the 6 in its way. Jason comes up for a timeout. Brian looked like he was just going to go ahead and line up on that 14. I would go for the 11 first here and push it in to the 13, try and get that 13 into the pocket. Right now, he can't get a good legal hit on it any other way, and he has the option. Overcuts it. That's going to bring Lewis back to the table with the ball resting up, cue ball up against the 8 ball, though. There's not much for Lewis to shoot at except for the 3 on the far end of the table. See what he goes for here. Good attempt at a kick on, or a cut on that. Almost got that 3 in. Unfortunately, cue ball came back and took care of the 13 ball problem that Brian was having. Lines up on that 11 into the side pocket. Good job on the 14, managing to leave himself in a good position on the 8. It's a rail shot, but he's got a good angle. And nicely done. That's going to give him the 3rd rack and the win of the match. Thanks everybody for watching the show. Again, please like and subscribe.